Hi everybody. Please like. You don't have to subscribe. Anyway, finishing up the two back wheels, and then I got to make the drive sprocket and chain out of plastic. After that, I got to make the frame and both axles and leaf springs and this. I think it's a sway bars type thing. It's up front. Here I'm putting the back end of the hub together with some copper wire for the spokes. The reason I put that piece of rim on there was to make sure that I was cutting it long enough. I hate to put that all together and solder it and find out it's short. That'd be really fun. I don't show all of this, so don't worry about it. If you want to see more of a better one, look at one of the first ones I did. I still got to make the fronts. The width of my tweezers work great for bending the together to put it through the holes. That one there had a little fuzzy around the edges, just cleaned it out a bit. Now that I have an idea how to make these, it's not so bad. I just wish I could. You know what kills me is I have brass spokes for 1/32 scale aircraft that are exactly the same size. I was tempted, but I thought I'll make them instead of using that, because I bought it I won them actually from Tom's Model Works. So I'm just crossing the spokes. On this wheel, I accidentally crossed them a little too high, so it doesn't look quite as good as the other one. But I mean, if you consider this is all made by hand, I mean, I know there's guys that are better. I'm not an idiot, I know that. So, I'm making the front one now. Then I had trouble. The thing was like a dead octopus. Their legs kept falling down. So I pinned it lightly, stuck a shaft in it, so it wouldn't rotate. I know I pinned it. Yeah, I did. I decided not to use the shaft in case I accidentally soldered it. Now I'm doing the crossing of the spokes. These I got crossed right. I didn't notice it until I put the rim together. I'd have had to maybe had to make new rim, but I'd had to take all the spokes out. I guess I could still do it. But it was so much fun, you know. I'm making sure the center of the X on the spokes where the cross is lined up with the center of the hole, or somewhere close to that. I'm not sure if they really are in real life. Just soldering it. Already put the little blobs of solder on it. Finally, I'm working with plastic. I'm making 2 drive sprockets and the chain and the back plate for the brakes, left and right side. Chain driven. Taking the measurements off my drawing, or the plans, or the idea of a plan. I know it looked like I was measuring the plan, but I was actually marking out where I got it. The scribed line, actually, I've made sure it was on the outside of the, so you can see it from the outside. That would just give it a demarcation, you might say. We'll see if it works out the way I think it will when it gets painted. So just copying the lines and putting them on there. On all 4 sprockets. Sorry I did this on the actual plan, but it was just handier and easier to transfer everything that way. Now I'm drilling the center holes. And it's an 1/8 inch, and I got some 1/8 inch plastic, and I got 1/8 inch brass. So the sprocket will fit over the wheel that's brass, axle, and the front axle from the counter drive sprocket, the main drive coming off the tranny. That will be plastic. And as you can see in the top view, if I move that notebook sometime here, it sticks out quite a ways, and it's a lot thicker than the plastic, or than the axle. Weird, huh? A lot of torque going through that. This bit was sharp, and a couple of spins, and it'd ditch it out, then it'd get to the bottom and hang up. Good thing I didn't put it in a drill. I'm just working it through the hole, screwing it in to where it finally cuts it at the end. Sand them a little, clean them up. There's another set of small holes that I didn't record. I thought I did, but I didn't. That go in between and above the big ones. I should say between them, but they're mounted above the other ones. I'm just cutting out the chain center part, making sure everything's lining up before I go any further. Boy, I'd be mad. I just kind of drew where the teeth were going to be at for the sprocket. Have to do that on both sprockets. Only the part that's showing. Have any of you guys ever made a chain for a model? I don't mean buy it or rob it off of another kit. I'm just wondering if any of you guys try it. Maybe give me some tips. Like, don't do it. Ah, good tip. These really didn't take long. I just been busy around my house with winter stuff, and I gotta go to Des Moines for a doctor's appointment for my shoulder, and that nightmare is about over. So you can see the little holes in there now in the green. I moved that up so I wouldn't mess up my plants. You know, I got another copy. Also use the plans to make frame plans. Only thing I'm not sure of is where the cross members are. The only one I'm really sure of is back by the just forward of the drive sprocket, and I think there's something for the engine, but I'm not sure how they mounted it. They don't show that. I got a feeling it's a shelf, like World War I aircraft. It's just a shelf they set on, they bolt it to the shelf. Is there the same displacement, same amount of ungodly torque, and about the same horsepower? So this car was faster than any aircraft until 1920 something. I don't remember the date, but that's before an aircraft actually exceeded 140 mile an hour in level flight. Just cleaning them up right now, making them round, trying to make sure it was in frame as much as I could, but you know, sometimes I got to see what I'm doing. Here I am cutting the excess off of the axle where the solid drive sprocket goes. I know I showed it on one video, but I didn't do it because it wasn't even really worth it. You guys will understand, I think, how it goes together. It's been really nice here until the last 2 days, and humidity is really high, like 80 some percent, maybe 90, and the temperature today was about the same, so there was a fog in the air, and that just makes it miserable. You feel wet all the time, and when you walk outside, your glasses fog because your glasses are cold, just like the winter, only when you're going inside. And only it's not frost. Just been, we had a weird summer, very cool summer most. So we had some hot days, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like August usually is. I don't even think we broke 100 degrees once this summer, and it was a dry heat, thank God, that day. But I'm trying an idea out here, and it failed miserably. I was going to try to wrap that around and piece the chain together, and if I had got that to work, I was going to do a bunch of stuff, and I couldn't get it to work. But it would work, but I just didn't want to mess with it. That way you could look through the top and actually see a hole through it. I could guess I'd go back through and drill holes. Might do that. Anyway, just straightening it up. Now, I'm on to my original idea. That one there I threw away. Measuring the width. I actually used first I used millimeters, which got me close, and then I realized, there I am, I'm using millimeters. No, I'm not. I'm using inches. There we go, there's a millimeter. That stupid thing I got there goes down to 32nd. And I never fails, I'll lose my place. I'm cutting out these individual links Sounds like a tank kit, don't it? And I'll glue these on spaced because the outer link is nothing more than has the pins, and the inner link has the bearings and the where it actually pivots on. So I'm doing them, and then I'm gluing them on. At first I rounded the edges, and then I decided that was a big pain in the clams, so I decided to glue it on this way, and possibly I might come up with an idea between then and now to make them round, or just forget about it and say, hey, anyway. I don't show you all of them, I just show you about halfway. Actually, it's been cut many times because what I meant cut is I just stopped the camera and I just picked up where I left off. It took me about 25 minutes total to do front and back. That ain't bad. Then when I got done, I sanded them. I wanted that chain look, that, I guess if it was my chain, it'd be kinked. Now I'm doing the backside, and you'll notice I flip it up because I'm lining it up with the one below it somewhat. Like I said, I'm not going to show you all this. It's not completed yet. I went back and I didn't put that on there because I had another one where I sanded in between the links, or filed between them, so it has that pinch waist look, like a barbell in a way. I didn't not showing you that because it was in my fat hand all the time, so it just wasn't really worth it. So I didn't put that in here. That one's done. Yay. Now I decided, hey, I got that spare piece here. I'm going to make the brake drum. And I'm done. I only made one. I got to make another one yet. You can see everything there.